Mark?
Let me tell you children a ghost story. You love a good, scary ghost story, don't you? Well, once upon a time, there was a rickety old house and 3 lovely children. Sorry, I looked into the camera. Excuse me. Excuse me for that. Once upon a time, there was a rickety old house and 3 lonely children. Just before they went to bed one night, the gardener, he was staying late to get the night-blooming violets trimmed, and he told them that in town there was a terrible murderer loose. Someone who had disfigured, maimed, even eaten some of his victims. Some say he wasn't even living. He was a dead man. That night they had trouble sleeping. They tried and they tried. They all slept in one bed, warming each other's feet. Then in the middle of the night, they heard a sound. First it was distant. Then it crept closer and closer, dragging a leg behind. One of the children said, "It's him. It's the blood-sucking, murdering fiend that could be dead or might not be." The other said, "Don't be silly. Those such things don't exist." But sure enough, they heard it. Thump, drag, thump, drag, thump, drag. Then just as they heard it enter the upstairs hallway, they saw the doorknob jiggling. Jiggle, jiggly. Jiggly, jiggly, jiggly. Jiggled frighteningly, and then slowly began to turn. And they watched as a dim light from the hallway illuminated their faces upon the bed. And they saw the most hideous face that they had ever seen in their lives. It wasn't the blood-suckering murderer. It wasn't the man that could be dead or might not be. It was, in fact, the gardener. The hideous, disfigured face of the gardener who had taken the shears to his own skull, removed his face, because when you're dead, you cannot feel pain. Only the pain of an immortal soul, tortured beyond belief. He crept closer to the bed. The children wanted to scream, but they couldn't scream. They were so terrified. Get that man a hanky. They held themselves and prayed for morning to come. And yet, morning never came, and the last thing they heard before they lost their lives was the voice of the tortured gardener, who said, quite tremblingly, "I am the ghost of Matter. Kiss my ass. It's a tomato." Anyway, go to bed.